Planning and Zoning Commission.
I know people aren't going to like us. Well, come here. Leave me to fend for myself. First question I have is, we have updated ordinances newer than 2004. Okay. Because the ordinances do not match the planning and zoning ordinances that you approved a couple years ago. So we need to get those two to be the same. Okay? So I'm going to go by the planning and zoning ordinances that were approved back in 2008. Wasn't it 2008? Yeah. Okay? In that ordinance, the first thing that we want to make sure that we do is a administrator, or what we call kind of like the planning and zoning commissioner, needs to be approved by the city council. We didn't approve a new person since Steve Winger left, and he was the member at that time. So we asked that the city to do that. According to the ordinance, it cannot be an elected official or a member of our Planning and Zoning Commission or the Board of Adjustment. So it can be a city employee and not the city clerk, because she has her own power and duties. Okay? So other than that, we ask that we have somebody help us do that. What this person kind of does is collects the information that people come in and give their request to the city clerk.
For building permits?
Yes. And then that person, it's their responsibility to kind of check things out, make sure that they're being done properly and meeting all those requirements. And I believe we had originally approved that if it's under $1,000 worth of renovation, that planning administrator could go ahead and approve that. It didn't take the city council actually to approve it. Okay, if it's anything over that, then he had to make sure that they came to the city council. What we don't have is anybody going out and doing those specs right now. Yes. We wouldn't know if, and what they're supposed to do is go out prior to the approval of the building permit, and go out during or after to make sure that it meets all of the specs in the ordinances that the city council has approved. And we just haven't been real good at doing that, and that is our responsibility as the Planning and Zoning Commission to make sure that that job gets done.
Do you have any recommendations?
As of to whom?
Yes.
We may have, before we got here, when we realized it can't be one of us on the committee, which right now is Orland, Vic, myself, Kevin Spore, and Gary. I cannot think off the top of my mind who's on the Board of Adjustments. I'm thinking
I'm also on the committee.
You, Roger.
I'm not on Board of Adjustments. Board of Adjustments is J.R. Lapel, Mary Schrader, Russ Kroger, Al Bloom,
and Rod Ross, I think.
Is Rod on it?
I think so.
I don't think Rod was, but he could be.
I think so.
But I know those four for sure.
Their responsibility is if one of these ordinances do not meet the specs and it's different of any deviation of any kind, really they're supposed to step in and make it right. The other thing that needs to be done is, for instance, we got some ideas from the city of Lakeview. So what they do is they go out and they get a bid, or somebody brings in their building permit proposal, and the commission takes it and they go out and they do an inspection to make sure it meets those specs. They're so far off the lot lines, they're not into anybody else's line overhang, all those sort of things. And then they bring it back. The cost to do that is, I mean, there should be a cost to the people in the city. We shouldn't just be doing it with no fee. I do not believe. Now, the city of Lakeview has different fee schedules. Gary knows what the schedules are.
They have a deal, if it's 8 by 8, you charge, say, $20. They got their fees high. They got $50 if it's 10 by 10, or if it's $50,000 total prize. I mean, that much money spent. If it's a $100,000 project, they charge $100. I feel that's high, But if there's a variance, say there's a deal with a deed of variance, they charge $100 for a variance. And then the city clerk or whoever's in charge makes sure that they send 3 letters to every property owner that touches, and that's what's in our file here, that touches that property, that they sign off. Then if they sign off, that lets everybody off the hook, including the town. We won't run into a deal like Mrs. Tunkett or Joe Nepple that time. I'm not saying $100. I feel, well, I'm thinking that if we had a $25.50, if we have to get a variance, it's up to you guys. If you want a variance, then it charges you $25 because you got to send letters out to all the property owners that touch that property. And I think it's in here the way it reads that we're supposed to send letters out to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
So if that variance is signed by all land touchers,
right,
Everybody's off the hook.
everybody's off the hook.
Is that variance refunded then? No.
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 But they charge a lot more money we do, but they got a lot of lake property and a lot of problems there. I feel that it should be some kind of fee if they have to do a variance, and maybe something, and if you pay somebody to go check it before it goes out, and check it when it comes back. If you have to give city charge $25, then they get, say, $15, the city gets $10 for some kind of a, that's what they do. They keep 10, give this guy $40 to make sure it's inspected twice. Once when it's done and once when it's not, finished, or started and finished.
So that to finish. So
yeah.
Everything's under complete.
Right, and then I think the city's off the hook. If everybody signs it on a variance, everybody's safe. It's just suggestions. But if you look the way we've been doing things, we can get in trouble pretty easy by not having things up to snuff.
Following the code.
Right. According to our code, what it reads, that's what...
We say we're doing it already, and we haven't. So we're saying, okay, this group realizes that, now we need to go to the city and we need to get something in place that we can start following guidelines and everybody is treated the same way.
You could have a city employee who would it.
Absolutely.
Appointed or whatever.
But and then one of the
But
things...
it can't be the city clerk and it can't be an elected official.
When somebody comes in with a blueprint, we went up there and checked a couple of blue deals there. Well, it sure helps if they have their stakes, where their property is, what they want to do. Otherwise, the zoning or whoever's inspecting it has to run around with a tape measure trying to figure out where
There are lot lines.
their lot lines or what there is. You don't have a clue what you're going up there to look at. It would help when they come into Marlene and want a permit that they got their deck staked out or whatever they have. So.
And it says that we're going to require them to do that in our ordinance. We're just not enforcing any of it.
How many yards in town have got a marker there with the lot lines are?
No, but you only have a few troubles like that, right?
I know, but
but if it's a questionable 5-yard deal, then you better have it checked out.
Yeah, survey how many ones.
But you run into it.
And it does say that we should be surveying it if we have any questions.
Who absorbs the survey costs? The landowner?
I believe the landowner
If
should
it got
pay
to
that.
if
it gets to that point, yes. I mean, that's the whole reason that we went through all this process, is to put something in place that we could follow and be consistent with everybody submitting these things. They're out there. We need to put something in place to enforce it.
So you want to automatic $25 charge?
Well,
We're just making a suggestion.
No.
We're saying that if somebody comes in and throws a building permit at you, number one, we just went to one that when we got back to inspect the property, he said he's not going to do it and he withdrew it. Well, we all took our time to go to his place. So, I mean, that's the other thing to follow, that, we say that if they're not going to do it within a certain amount of time, then their permit becomes null and void.